Welcome to Wild, Women in Lending Determined to Make an Impact. I'm your host, Robin Lavasser. They say our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. It's being powerful beyond measure. In this podcast, I will share how to break through imaginary ceilings, lean into success, discovering your purpose, and understanding how to create the business and life of your dreams. From failures to triumphs and all the tactics in between, let's jump into the wild arena together. Welcome back to Wild with Robin Lavasser. Extreme ownership. What a topic to cover. I like to think of myself as somebody that owns outcomes, if you will, very well. But I can tell you that I definitely have some soft spots in my life where I forget the lessons and the rules of extreme ownership. And when I do, it definitely bites me. So I want to share with you, we just did a call in our company and there were so many aha moments around extreme ownership that I thought, you know what, I'm bringing this to Wild. We're going to talk about it this week. And so this isn't just for loan officers, obviously. You can apply this in any workplace, but some of the examples that I'm going to use are going to talk through loan officer bits in the extreme ownership. Number one, and I'm going to give you a few different bullet points. So pen and pencil if you have it. Number one, own every outcome. Yeah, sounds pretty simple, right? Own every outcome. No, really. Own every outcome, which means no blame allowed. None. Not to processing, not to assistants, not to underwriting, not to appraisers, not to real estate agents, not to clients. Own, not to the market, not to interest rates. I could keep going. Own every single outcome. If something breaks down in flow, you need to ask, what could I have done differently to prevent this? Maybe it's better delegation. Maybe it's better check-in times. Maybe it's setting those expectations and making sure someone's clear. Maybe it's doing some of it yourself. Generally, that's not the case, but our ego wants to take things back over. So after every work process that you complete, whether it's a file closing, an appointment that you have with a realtor or a referral partner, a new potential referral partner, a pre-approval, anything, when you don't get the outcome that you were looking for, I want you to think, good or bad, or you do get the outcome you were looking for, I want you to think to yourself, a 2-minute debrief, what went well? What could I have controlled better? And then how can I personally fix it? That could mean that you delegate something, but you ultimately own the outcomes, even in the delegation process, right? You own the outcomes. It's yours, your business, your livelihood, your job, even if you're not an entrepreneur, it's yours and yours alone. Very big deal there. So own every outcome. Number two, no excuses. No excuses, only solutions. No excuses. I hear a lot and I work on myself a lot with stop saying but, if, just, only, lots of different things. No excuses, only solutions. And that can be a rule that not only you demonstrate beautifully for other people, but that then people want to demonstrate for you, or that you demand that they demonstrate it with and for you. A big good tactic on that is, hey, you have a problem. What 2 solutions can you come up with? Instead of, I like to be the helper, the hero, right? The solver of all things. Here are my solutions. Now you need solutions yourself for sure. Extreme ownership says no excuses, only solutions. This is what we're going to do moving forward. At the end of the day, when you really think about customer service in general, do you really care why something happened, how it happened? Or do you care predominantly that it's fixed and how it won't happen again, how it's going to be fixed, how it won't happen again? The truth is, we don't really want to rehash and hear all the reasons, we were short-staffed, there was this happened, there was flight delays, this happened. They want to know, hey, this is what we're doing moving forward. We're giving you 2 nights hotel, we're comping your airfare, we're giving you a voucher. Okay, I don't need to hear about all the reasons that this person was late, that then caused this, that the flight got cut. That doesn't matter in that moment, and it doesn't add any sort of soothe or progress for me. It just takes me back through the mud. How many times do you want to drag somebody backwards? Let's go through all the mud again, and then we'll get you over here into the shower. No, thank you. I'd like to not have to walk back through the mud and someone just show me the shower, right? Clean me off. Let's see where we're at now. What's our future look like? And so no excuses, only solutions. So a couple step process to that in itself. One, acknowledge the issue. I understand, in lending, it might be, hey, I understand the appraisal came in low. It might be I understand that you don't qualify for as much as you wanted to. right? Understand that you lost out on the offer on this house, whatever it may be, right? Acknowledge the issue. You don't have to drag back through. You don't have to say, I know this happened, but it was because. That's where we get lost, you guys. We want to, and what that really says is, let me really quickly not help you be mad at me or not point, like, let me quickly deflect and point the finger elsewhere, defend, right? And say why it happened or how it happened. Doesn't matter. Just acknowledge the issue. That's all you have to do in extreme ownership. Step 2, present the solution or 2 options to a solution. I can do this. I can do this. Both solve the problem. Which one works best for you? Not 3 options, not 4 options, not a lot of jargon, if you will, and talking. It's just, hey, I acknowledge this issue. Here are the couple solutions that I see, or the one path forward that I see, right? That's all that needs to be. Very clear, very direct, very confident, if you will, extreme ownership. It doesn't even have to say it was your fault. It's simply your problem that you are willing to solve. And people look for solutions and problem solvers than people that just become part of the problem. People that stand around and talk about it, discuss it, analyze it, point fingers around it, blame, all of those things. Ugh, no, thank you. And there's no difference in that in business in general. And then 3, own the follow up until resolution. So if you say, these are the 2 solutions that I see, and they go, oh, this one sounds great. Awesome. I'm going to own the follow up until this is completely executed, so we don't have another problem on our hands. Extreme ownership. Instead of, great, you chose that one, I'm going to send you on your way. I'm going to own it. In an airline analogy, it might be, we've already booked the hotel. We've already got your vouchers printed. Not, you have to go do this, this, and this. You have to go do this, this, and this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to make this as simple as possible amidst already an issue that's going on, right? Like, that is extreme ownership. I love this next one, and yet it's so hard for us to do. And that is, number 3 is simplify the complex. Simplify the complex. When you think about how many things that we make complex, if you will, complicated explanations in general create distrust. When somebody is lost within a matter of seconds talking to you, their brain is no longer trusting because it can't totally follow along. They become head nodders, but doubters at the same time, right? Okay, does that make sense? Kind of, and it's not a kind of, and I trust you. It's a kind of, but let me talk to somebody else that can explain it better or get me a different outcome, right? I'm going to move on potentially from you because this feels complicated, which means your brain in a way is grasping for security. So simplify the complex. When explaining anything from loan programs to how the process works to maybe making an offer on an actual house, break everything down into 3 bullet points. This. And it's generally 3 bullet points that cover the 3 options or the 3 biggest points in the transaction. And then you can get into subcontext later, but stick to big picture 3 bullet point items. And that helps people then feel like, hey, I'm following along and I'm understanding and I know where I currently sit, right? Not, that's a lot, and I'm not really sure where I'm at with you, how we're working this out. That's a problem. And we tend to want to get complex to sound smarter, bigger, more important, all of these things. People like simplicity. Clear is kind, right? Clear is also confident, and clear allows for people to be competent in what, trusting your competency, and then also feeling competent in their understanding of you. Huge win there. Making things more complicated does not help people, right? And so you might say, well, there's a lot that I go into on the loan side, but I won't get in the weeds on it right this minute. But simplify the complex. It's a great tactic across the board in business and in communication. Number 4, prioritize and execute. Woo, we struggle with this one. Every day we try to do everything. And I constantly talk to our sales team in general, and I was one of them, and I still am. You want to come in and we have, I have all this stuff to do. I've got stuff. I've got this, I've got that, I've got this, I've got that. And all of a sudden, very little gets done. Here's what I would tell you. You work off of 3 big rocks every single day. 3 big rocks every single day. If those 3 main things get done, man, you've had a successful day. And it shouldn't be negotiable that those 3 things get done. Now, what I like to do to trick myself a little bit is say, hey, I got to knock out these three things to then get to all the other things that I like to be in a little bit more chaos around. But I have to get these three main things done. If ever a main thing doesn't get done and it rolls to the next day, it can't roll more than one day, right? It has to happen. If you have to get disclosures out on a file and you know that's a main priority, there's deadlines, the clock has started, but you really don't want or enjoy disclosure, so you're not doing it, but you know that you're the one that has to own it and do it. Get it done first. Knock it down right out of the gate. Get it done. Don't get distracted. Very big deal. Three actions that I can move forward with today. Prospecting is one of, and we tend to take that one off the list the fastest or pretend it's a priority, but it's not on the calendar. It's not considered a big rock, and you put all this other work in front of it. And then we go, I didn't have time because I had to work on files. And we victimize ourselves. There's no extreme ownership in, I didn't have time because the world impacted me, because there were interruptions. I kept getting distracted. I want us to change that. I allowed a distraction. I allowed an interruption. I didn't stay disciplined. I need to fix this. I am not only the problem, I am also the solution. There's so much power in that in general. I'm not only the problem, I'm also the solution. I often talk about a couple of my favorite quotes, poems, things that I have written down. I love this one, and this speaks so much to extreme ownership. And it's, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us the most. If you give yourself the power to be the owner of all outcomes, to be the owner of everything that happens in your life in general, everything, you're so powerful in that moment. You don't have to wait on somebody else to come save you, to come solve things for you. And it's not that you can't ask for help. It's not that you don't need connection with other people. But how powerful is it to say, hey, this is a problem and I'm also the solution. I have the power, right? I can lean into this. That's a beautiful piece of extreme ownership. There's a whole another second part to that quote that I would encourage you to go look up and read. So Coach Carter and Its Deepest Fear, I think, is what it's ultimately taglined. So, all right, decentralize command. What is that? Decentralized command. Extreme ownership means you empower, not micromanage. Whew. This one's tough. It's tough in leadership. It's tough for realtors to not micromanage lenders. It's tough for lenders to not micromanage processing and underwriting and assistance. And what it really is saying, if you don't teach people versus you stay involved and you want to do it for them to make sure the win, but then you place blame when things don't go well, but you take credit when the win is there, not extreme ownership at all. So decentralized command says, I'm going to let other people know and understand what winning looks like in their lane, working hand in hand with me. And I'm going to roadmap it and help and be there as a support from a distance. But I want them to have extreme ownership as well. I want them to own their command station, if you will, and I'm going to own mine. I can tell you every single day in lending, if you are a 100% commission salesperson, the one thing that you should own in absolute responsibility, obligation, and opportunity to help and support others is going to get more loans, which means you are prospecting every single day. And yet we don't own our own command station about what we need to do every single day. And then we get frustrated when somebody doesn't do their job well by sending an update or communicating or dotting the I or crossing the T on the income, doing things on the file part. And we're so busy worrying about them that we stop worrying about our command station. And I can tell you, you are not the commander of all things. You give over ownership and show people what it's like to win in their lane. And you applaud them and you support them for sure. You teach and you reaffirm, but you don't do it for them. And you certainly don't blame them when things don't go well. Always look at yourself. How could we have communicated that better? How could I have set a more clear expectation? We're really bad at setting those expectations. We can say things like, I need that ASAP. What does that even mean? In your mind, you might be thinking that means by 10 a.m. and it's 9 a.m. And in their mind, that ASAP meant as soon as they could do it, which was noon. Now all of a sudden we have a miss, but we're going to blame them. We don't look at ourselves and say, I was the poor delegator on that. I wasn't clear enough. We weren't on the same page and I didn't confirm that. Instead, we go, well, they didn't work fast enough. I feel like they're too busy. I need different help. It's not working between them and I. And we're literally disempowering ourselves in that moment. Such a miss. Extreme ownership is, I've got it. I know what I did wrong. I'll fix it for the next time. Here's the solution going forward. Now let's look to the future, right? Like that's extreme ownership. So big deal on decentralized command and giving power to other people so they can be extreme owners as well. Discipline equals freedom. This is number 6. Probably one of my favorite things. And we hear it all the time, right? We'll hear things like choose your hard. Being overweight is hard. Going to the gym is hard and eating well is hard, right? Being broke is hard. Making a lot of money and being uber successful is hard. It requires a lot of people. So choose your hard is a big thing. But when you think about discipline equals freedom, where are disciplines? Discipline and checklists, discipline and routines, discipline in prospecting every single day, discipline in your calendar, discipline in distractions and interruptions, discipline in start and stop times, discipline in closing styles and really learning and growing and continuing to evolve, as you will, in your craft around knowledge, around sales skills, discipline. And it equals freedom because, and I can tell you, I didn't agree with this for the longest time. I felt like suffocated when it became a good business was a boring business. And as long as you did the same routine, I thought that'll be boring. It'll be, I won't enjoy it. I'll feel trapped and sucked in and kind of locked down, if you will, and chained. Not true. And there's this saying that I love so much, and it's the train is always freest on the track. Think about a train on a track and how quickly it can pick up speed, how fast it can run and get to the destination safely, how smooth that ride is because it's actually on the track. Imagine a train that technically has fuel to move, trying to drudge through with no track. That's what it feels like in business when you are off track because your discipline is not stronger than your mood, than your frustrations, from your distractions, from all of the things that get in the way from life, from personal life to professional life, to financial woes, to maybe health woes. Your discipline is what will give you the most freedom, and yet we shy away from discipline all the time. Our own self-accountability makes a massive difference. So the more disciplined your system, the more freedom you will gain in business. Freedom allows you to buy back things of value, your time, your joy, right? Energy in general. So time, joy, money. Financial freedom buys a massive amount of things. It doesn't make you a better person, doesn't do any of those things, but financial freedom, massive tool, right? Massive tool to change the game in your life, but discipline is required to get you there. And so a great tactic on this is 2 non-negotiable time blocks in your calendar where you make sure that those big rocks are absolutely done and they become sacred, right? They become a place where you're like, I'm unwavering in this process on making sure this is there. I'm going to go through number 7, and this is the last of the bullet points, if you will, and then I'll wrap this up. Ego is the enemy. Let me say it again. Ego is the enemy. I think we all think if we have humility, we don't have ego. Not true. Both can be true. You can have ego and be humble. You absolutely can. Maybe not exactly in the same moment, but our ego is there, you guys. And I know for a fact my ego's been there. Ego says, it's not my fault. Owners say, I'll fix it. Ego says somebody else was to blame, right? Like this is the why, this is the how, this is all of these things. Owners say, let me give you 2 solutions. Ego says, it's not fair. I needed to check my email. I needed to solve that problem. I had to be involved in it. I had this come up. People needed me. I. Ego says that. Owners go to, I was distracted. I'll be better on my calendar this afternoon. Owners go to, I apologize. I can't let you interrupt me right now, but I will be with you in an hour if that works. Owners go to control so that they can absolutely control the outcome. When you're an extreme owner, you don't allow a lot of things. You don't victimize yourself and then turn other people into villains. That's not how it works. Other situations into villains. The world should not be villainous to you. right? You should be your own hero, if you will, knowing then that other people are also doing their best work, but the onus of all the outcomes fall in your lap. Such a big deal. So, call for actions to LOs in general. One, every loan should be your loan. You should think of it that way. Every loan is my loan. It was offensive to me when somebody didn't choose me, and I did not blame my rates, the market, the realtor partner, the client. I thought I've got to do a better job of asking that realtor partner to edify me better. I have to do a better job of my presentation skills and a 2-option close with those clients. I should have done a better job of easing their fears around this. I should have done a better job of trying to qualify them at a higher amount and really working through their expectations with them. There's so many things that we can do to create the outcomes that we're looking for. And yet when we say they didn't want this, so now that's why, and this is what happened, and that, like, we don't get anywhere. That's the truth. We're just left with, it was a rough day, but no solutions, right? And that can be on repeat, definition of its insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again without resolution. Every client experience is your responsibility, period, end of story. Doesn't matter what company you work at, doesn't matter what business you are in. In your interactions, every client experience is yours and yours alone. You have to own that. Whether it means you are hiring the right people, you are training the right people, you have the right processes and systems, whatever it may be, doesn't mean a lot of people aren't involved in it. You are the extreme owner of that experience. You have to feel that way. Every referral partner relationship is your opportunity. It's yours. It's not somebody else's responsibility. When you go, well, my team didn't call back and get that realtor the pre-approval letter. Your responsibility, your opportunity. Doesn't mean you have to do everything. It does mean you have to own everything. It does mean you have to own everything. Extreme ownership in general will transform you from being an order taker to a trusted advisor, to a market leader. And I can tell you, when I started owning everything in my business, all outcomes, good and bad, not taking credit for the good, but owning the bad and then celebrating the good amidst everybody that worked alongside me. Doing a review and a post-mortem on what went wrong, but not pointing fingers, simply looking for solutions about how to not have that happen again in the future. There is a massive difference in those types of leaders, market leaders, referral partners in general, and ultimately strategists in mortgage for clients. And that's the side that you want to be on. I would highly recommend reading the book Extreme Ownership. You could read it multiple times, put it into ChatGPT and ask for an overview of it. There are a lot of notes, and I'd be happy to email these notes to you if you drop me a note and say you want the notes from Extreme Ownership, and I can shoot them over to you. I hope that you enjoyed this. If it was helpful, I hope you share it with a friend, and we will see you on the next Wild.